All righty. Busy Saturday morning. Appreciate everybody stopping by for another Right Angle Release show here on the Right Angle Sports YouTube. It is show number 2. And so if you are just joining the channel for the first time, or you're just coming for your first release show, or you've been here a long time, I want to encourage everybody. There's a subscribe button down below. It's right below the video. If you're on your desktop or your app, there's a button there. Once you hit it, there'll be a toggle where you can select your notification type. If you switch it to all, you're going to benefit here because there's now obviously the end of phase 2 for the service. We have a lot of flexibility going forward. Now with me full-time on the team, we're going to be doing a lot of streams. We want to get everything over here to YouTube. We believe in the format. We know it works. So we're going to try to do as many shows as we can going forward here on the YouTube channel. So if you want to get the notifications right away, just hit the subscribe button right down below, and that will get you notifications about 30 minutes in advance of all the live streams that we do. So I encourage everybody to hit the subscribe button down below. Big Saturday. You obviously got NFL, you got college bowls, but we have a lot of college basketball to get to. Last show, we tightened everything up for the release, setup, and go procedure. So to move a little bit quicker, a lot to get to today. And so we are going to start by bringing up the odds screen. Of course, as always, this comes from Spank Odds. If you haven't already got the program, highly recommend doing it, as you'll see how things move across the board. So we have a handful of main card releases, and we'll get to a couple of extras, but we'll start with the main card. And the first setup of the day, we'll give everybody a couple seconds to get their sportsbook app ready. And we will begin with setting up game number 690, Louisiana Tech UTEP under 140. So again, we'll be moving quickly on these as we did last show. Louisiana Tech UTEP under 140. Give everybody about 5 more seconds to find this one to set up. 690 Louisiana Tech UTEP under 140 is a go. We are betting Louisiana Tech UTEP under 140. This is a go. If you have it set up in your sportsbook account, be sure to click submit, as we're going to start to see this total move. As always, there's the chat feature on the YouTube channel. Let us know what number did you get, where were you betting it. As we watch Spank Odds here on the screen, we're starting to see a lot of the sports books move, but as we go forward, it would be beneficial if you're watching this, take note of which spots move, which spots do not move. That'll get you potentially a little bit more of an advantageous number as we go forward. So the first bet is Louisiana Tech UTEP under 140. We're seeing Ryan Shute was able to get 140 and a half. These are moving quickly. Kevin Alexander, 141. Dawson Lamb was able to get 141 as well. Looks like a lot of 140, a lot of 140 and a half, even 139 and a half. With these sides are within half a point is what we recommend. And for totals, if you're within the single point, you're doing well. Looks like a lot of everybody here in the channel was able to get under 140. Got a comment from Michael. Fabian, please give the tip times. I have it on the banner. I'll be sure to give the tip times going forward. A lot of clicking around here as we go. So first bet is in Louisiana Tech UTEP under 140. We'll give everybody a couple seconds here to reset as we move into the second setup of the morning. Just a few seconds. Second setup of the day is game number 601, Missouri Central Florida over 143 and a half. This is at 12 p.m. Eastern. And because it is rotation number 601, this should be at the top of the majority of lists, 12 p.m. Eastern, as early as a tip as you're going to get. So we're setting up 601 Missouri Central Florida over 143 and a half. We'll give everybody about 5 more seconds to find and set up Missouri Central Florida over 143 and a half. $601 Missouri Central Florida over 143 and a half is a cancel. We're not betting Missouri Central Florida over 143 and a half. This is a cancel. If you have it in your bet slip, remove it from your bet slip. We will not be betting Missouri Central Florida over 143 and a half. We'll give everybody a couple more seconds to reset as we move on to the third setup of the day. Again, Missouri Central Florida is a cancel. The next setup that we are looking at is rotation number 674, Pacific -1, and this is at 8 p.m. Eastern. So this will be near the bottom of most lists. If you're looking for it, rotation number 674, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Give everybody about 5 more seconds to find and set up 674 Pacific -1. 674 Pacific -1 is a go. We are betting 674 Pacific -1. This is a go. If you have it in your bet slip, click submit. As always, you're around the chat, you're watching the stream. Let us know, were you able to get 674 Pacific -1? Let us know what price you got, where you got it. You're starting to see most of the books on the board start to move. As always, guys, pop in the chat and let us know Pacific -1. What did you get? Where did you get it? We're seeing David Hayward. I don't know if this was a typo. He said he got +1. John Freeman -1 at DK. Matt Campbell -1 at Bovada. -1 at Nitro. -1 at BetUS. We're covering almost every offshore sports book that could possibly exist at this point. We have a Bodog reference. I mean, at this point, I'm waiting for Bet Jamaica to show up. That's some of the chat that's showing. All the classic offshores, -1.5 bet fast action. A lot of good ones here. Looks like a lot of success at -1. Randy Adams -1 at Bet Now. A lot of people finding the price for Pacific at -1 in the second bet of the day. If you're on the YouTube app, always feel free to jump in the chat. Let us know. We obviously are tightening up the format here a little bit, trying to move things along. So if you're liking the show, if you like the new format, if you're able to move around quickly, let us know with some feedback in the chat. We try to get to every message as we see it. Always appreciate it to keep on improving the streams as we go forward and start to do more of these. Second bet out of the way with Pacific -1, and we are continuing on with the next setup. We are moving to game number 667, UCLA, Kentucky, over 143.5. We are setting up game number 667, UCLA, Kentucky, over 143.5. So we'll give everybody about 10 more seconds to find and set up game number 667, UCLA, Kentucky, over 143.5. This game is at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. 667 UCLA, Kentucky, over 143.5. 667 UCLA, Kentucky, over 143.5 is a cancel. We are not betting UCLA, Kentucky, over 143.5. This is a cancel. If you have it in your bet slip, remove it from your bet slip. We will not be betting UCLA, Kentucky. This is a cancel. We will give everybody a few seconds here to reset, get back to the main sportsbook menu before we move on to the next setup. The next setup is game number 692, Pepperdine, Grand Canyon, under 140 at 8 p.m. Eastern time. 692, Pepperdine, Grand Canyon, under 140. This game is at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We'll give everybody about 10 to 15 more seconds to find and set up 692 Pepperdine, Grand Canyon, under 140. $692 Pepperdine, Grand Canyon, under 140 is a go. And I'm looking at the screen as this is happening. 139.5 would be a more fair price to grade, as this one obviously saw some early movement. And so we will regrade that at 139.5. Looked like the fair number at time of release. This obviously moved quite quickly. Curious to see what everybody was able to get with that number. We'll obviously take this into account as we saw this one moving. First one to really move before any cancels. People are noticing that as well. Let us know what you were able to get, and we'll make a judgment call on that one and see if it is worthwhile to be moving on or not. That was obviously moving very quickly, and so we'll take that into account. I'll get the official grading from Ed in the background here, as that one obviously moved very quickly before tip. When they move before tip, all that encourages is more cancels, which makes for more guessing for anyone who's trying to jump early. And so that's just a cue that as we're going forward, we're going to have to do a lot more cancels with these if these continue to move early like that on setup. And then anyone trying to jump it early is going to get caught potentially on the wrong side, or they're going to get caught on a game where things are coming back the other way. So now with the main card done, we're going to get to the extra board. And so you may have to go into a different menu within your sports book. I'll give everybody here 10 to 15 seconds to find the extra portion of the board. And then we will get into the first setup from the extra board for the busy card today on Saturday. So we'll give everybody a few more seconds to get into the extra board. The first setup on the extra board is game number 306531, Northwestern State Rice over 152. And this game is at 3 p.m. Eastern time. 306531, Northwestern State Rice over 152.5. So we'll give everybody a couple of seconds here to find 306531, Northwestern State Rice over 152.5. 306531, Northwestern State Rice over 152.5 is a go. We are betting Northwestern State Rice over 152.5. As you can see on the board, there were some prices that were better than that. And so it goes both ways as we move through this. 306531, Northwestern State Rice over 152.5. 3 p.m. Eastern was a go. And that's being quite disadvantageous to the grading. And I am managing this as I go on the fly. And so obviously that one moved down a little bit. So almost anyone in this chat was going to be able to get a better number. And we're seeing everybody 151, 151.5. We see a 150.5. Rick Smith, 151 at FanDuel. So this one, probably the most successful release in RAS history on the burden of me going on the fly here and not being able to change the banner in quick enough time. So everybody was able to get a lot better than 152.5 with Northwestern State and Rice over 152.5. We'll move on to the next setup. We are looking at game number 306512, Stetson, Ohio, under 136.5. We're setting up game number 306512, Stetson, Ohio, under 136.5. This game is at 2 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be on the extra board again, 306512, Stetson, Ohio, under 136.5. We'll give everybody another 5 to 10 seconds to find 306512, Stetson, Ohio, under 136.5. 306512, Stetson, Ohio, under 136.5 is a go. We are betting Stetson and Ohio under 136.5. This is a go. If you have it in your bet slip, move on that immediately, as we're going to start to see this come down. We're seeing a couple of the books be a little bit slow to move here. Stetson, Ohio, under 136.5 is a go. Seeing Daniel was able to get 137 at PPH. Jack Ivey was able to find the 137 as well. Matt Campbell found the 137. Devin Bush was able to get the hook, 137.5. Jeff Fort, 137 at Bovada. Cole, 137 at MyBookie. Wow, that's another obscure reference there for an offshore sportsbook. Malcolm Gills was able to find the 137 as well. So a lot of success with the Stetson and Ohio under, looks like, from everybody in the chat. So we're moving on to the next setup. Again, we will keep things within the extra board, so you're not going to have to scroll too far. And we are setting up game number 306534, Samford, South Carolina State, under 152.5. This game is at 3 p.m. Eastern time. 306-534. Samford, South Carolina State, under 152.5. And again, this game is at 3 p.m. Eastern time. We'll give everybody a couple more seconds to get through their sportsbook list. Find game number 306-534, Samford, South Carolina State, under 152.5. 5 to 10 more seconds on this setup. Game number 306-534, Samford, South Carolina State, under 152.5 is a cancel. We are not betting Samford, South Carolina State, under 152.5. Everybody who jumped the gun just now, as we're seeing the screen light up, is now on a side that we are not on. Is now up to them to do whatever they like with that position, as the under is a cancel. The reason we do cancels is to keep everybody here on the stream honest, to keep sportsbooks honest for moving early. Levels the playing field for everybody who's trying to get the release numbers. The under in Samford, South Carolina State is a cancel. This is not going to be a bet. Moving on with another setup. I told you it was a busy day. We got a lot going on. Next setup. Game number 306-538, Lamar, University, Louisiana, Monroe, under 140. And this is at 3 p.m. Eastern time. 306-538, Lamar, UL Monroe, under 140. And this is at 3 p.m. Eastern time. We'll give everybody another 10 seconds to find 306-538, Lamar, UL Monroe, under 140. Lamar, UL Monroe, under 140 is a go. We are betting Lamar, UL Monroe, under 140. This is a go. We are betting it. If you have it in your bet slip, get that in immediately, as we're going to start to see this move. Handful of books still yet to move or react. Looks like 139.5 was attainable by Xavier. We're seeing 140, 140.5 for Alex, 140 for Neil at 365. John was able to find 140.5 at MGM. We're also seeing 140.5 at Bet Online. And Kiel, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, 140.5 at Hard Rock. So people were able to get the 140 or half a point better. Anthony found 140.5. David found 140.5 as well. So a split there. BOL was able to find 140.5 as well, as this number starts to move and is long gone. Got a message as we were streaming that the Pepperdine game is fair to grade at 139. So we had 140 on the banner. We will grade that at 139. That would be the one adjustment that we're making on the show. And as I mentioned at the top, please subscribe to the channel, because you're going to be notified with a lot more streams that we're going to be trying to do, especially now in this little bit of a holiday break where phase 2 of the service is complete. We're waiting for phase 3. If you're enjoying the shows, you can turn on the notifications. You'll get the update. There's very possible that we're going to do another show today. It's a massive card. There's a lot going on, and we want to get to the point where everybody's here on YouTube. You get the notifications. We can do more streams without having to send out a lot of warnings in a lot of different places. Now that I'm here full time, we have a lot more flexibility within that. So I really encourage anybody, if you like these streams, if you like the bets, hit the subscribe button below. And after you do, there's an option where you can drop it down and select your notification type. If you change it to all, you'll get all of the notifications in advance as we start to do these streams. We'd like to do a lot more of them, and we plan on doing a lot more. So we really want you to subscribe to the channel so you get the notifications and know what's going on. And for everybody commenting, yes, a lot more cancels to come when it comes to getting creative in terms of how you're releasing some of these bets. Have all the faith in the world that Ed is going to come up with something creative and have everybody guessing and on their toes. So there will be a lot more cancels, a lot more fakes, and we'll keep on working to be sure that everybody can get the best release number possible. Thanks for everybody for stopping by on this show. We'll have a recap posted on Twitter with all of the bets and the grading for all of the numbers. 6 bets in total for a very busy Saturday. Hit the subscribe button. We'll see you again soon.